WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight at 10. A suspect's mental health can play a big role in a criminal case. In fact, as we've seen recently in Tupelo, departments will sometimes request a psychiatric review before making an arrest. Our Quentin Smith digs into what these assessments mean. He joins us live in the studio with more. Quentin.
Yes, Scott, the mental evaluations are usually given whenever a major crime has occurred, such as someone killing a family member, like the recent case we reported on out of Tupelo. These assessments are critical because they could help determine the next step in the investigation.
Ackerman Police Department. Can I help you?
Chief Tim Cook has 20 years of experience in law enforcement. He's seen a lot of things, including instances where a potential suspect needs to be given a mental assessment after an alleged crime.
Normally, if you arrest a person like that and they're just the way they're acting, it seems like they may be off or just from what they tell you.
When that situation happens, investigators call on the mental health experts.
Mobile crisis, this is Veronica.
And Veronica Harrison is usually on the receiving end of that phone call.
What we'll do is do a basic mental status exam. We'll talk to the individual, see what's going on, see if there's some underlying issue, if the individual may have already had a mental health diagnosis.
Harrison works with community counseling services and says there are a few things she looks for during these evaluations.
Paranoia, delusions, hysteria, any type of psychosis that would show up in an immediate face-to-face contact.
She says her assessments can take up to an hour. When it's complete, she then sends the report back to the responding agency.
We'll either say this person is okay, go ahead and do whatever you got to do to law enforcement, or we'll say this individual needs further examination. I recommend this individual go to a hospital, be examined by a psychiatrist, and have a lengthy mental status exam.
Harrison and Cook both believe that giving a mental evaluation in the beginning of an investigation is beneficial to both law enforcement and the potential suspect.
Well, it's good on the suspect's behalf, because if something really is wrong with them, then they will go and they'll get the treatment they need there. And
people are in our jails who have mental health issues, but because nobody knew in the beginning, those people are sitting there and it's clogging up the system, it's clogging up the judicial system. They're not getting the help they need, which is unfair to them, and it's unfair to the people who are housing because they're not equipped to deal with mental health issues.
Now, if it is decided that a person does need to be further evaluated, Chief Tim Cook says that person will stay in custody until the assessment is complete. Harrison says the Mobile Crisis Emergency Response Team is on call 24/7 to administer these mental evaluations whenever they are needed. Scott?
More money for Mississippi prisons is likely to come up this legislative session. Lieutenant Governor-elect Delbert Hosemann says more money will be needed to improve the Mississippi prison system as a result of deadly prison violence. Hosemann and House Speaker Philip Gunn addressed the issue prior to speaking to more than 1,000 business leaders at MEC's Capitol Day in Jackson. Governor-elect Tate Reeves outlined his priorities for the next 4 years, including securing economic development wins for the state.
My tenure over the next 4 years will be filled with attempts to continue to raise the level of expectations. I can't wait to being sworn in and having the opportunity to compete with Alabama and Louisiana and Tennessee.
Says he will build a team that's focused on Mississippi winning.
Well, once again, we are talking about the chance for some strong to severe storms as we get into the weekend, specifically on Saturday. Let me give you that breakdown of what we're looking at this round. We're looking for the chance for some strong to severe storms on Saturday morning from 6 a.m. all the way until the afternoon hours into around 2 o'clock. This will be kind of all over our area. No specific location that we're targeting for stronger storms are not stronger storms. And of course, these storms could produce damaging winds in excess of 80 miles an hour at times. And then we're also tracking the potential for some tornadoes as these storms rumble through. Of course, you can stay updated right here on WCBI and on our website at WCBI.com/weather. And of course, I'll have that latest forecast coming up for you in just a little bit. Scott.
All right, Trevor, thanks so much. Governor Phil Bryant is in the final days of his second term. Bryant has served in the legislature, then as state auditor and lieutenant governor. Courtney Ann Jackson sat down with him today as he reflects on the last 8 years.
We've worked hard, proud of the things that we've done.
In this time of reflection, that seems to be the overwhelming thought for Phil Bryant. He's proud of many changes and accomplishments during his tenure.
And if I had one thing to talk about, it'd be public education.
He points to the third grade reading gates, special needs scholarships, early childhood programs, and increased graduation rates.
Foster care. We separated child protection services from the Department of Human Services. Now we've doubled the number of adoptions. Foster children in custody are now down by 13%. I think if we look at economic development as we look back and the number of jobs, almost 80,000 has been created, $5.3 billion of private investment. Those are things I hope people will look to and remember.
Is there anything that didn't get a bow on it, that didn't get quite wrapped up, that you say, I wish I'd been able to see that all the way through?
I don't have many regrets, but yeah, when we began criminal justice reform, and part of that saved us about $33 million. And asking the legislature to put...
Bryant doesn't think the latest crisis would have happened had the legislature followed the request to reinvest those dollars into the system.
Maybe I should have pushed harder on that.
But he says it was a time when there were other money demands, but he's still pleased with the overall progress of criminal justice reform.
What's next?
I'm not sure. I love economic development. I love Mississippi. I want to continue to help Mississippi, but I've always realized you cannot take your eye off of this ball as being governor. You cannot turn away from your duties and responsibilities to do something else.
I ask if that may include more time in D.C.
We will see if there is an opportunity that I feel comfortable with, and we'll explore that in the future.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Bryant says he plans to return to the campaign trail for President Trump's re-election bid. All right, we're going to send things over to meteorologist Trevor Burchett. Trevor, more rain coming our way.
Yeah, I'm about sick of it. I posted on Facebook earlier. I am so tired of putting these storm icons on the 7-day forecast, but unfortunately, here they are again. More storms, more rain. The good news is, look at Millie. Look how cute she is. She's, I'm sure, not excited for these rain and storms. The big talking point is going to be the severe weather on Saturday. I'll break that down for you coming up right after this. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
We're going to start things out with a look outside on the Alpha Insurance camera network across the area, and things are quiet, but what you need to notice on this is the temperatures. Everybody right now is still in the 60s as of the 10 o'clock hour. Definitely unseasonably warm. Keep in mind, our highs for this time of year are normally in the 50s. So to be in the 60s at this time of night is definitely unprecedented for this time of year. And really, we're not going to see any cooler air come in anytime soon. Here's a look at clouds and radar across the country. We do have some clouds starting to filter in. That's what came in through the day today. But our eyes are back to the west, all the way out in northern Texas and through New Mexico and into Arizona. This is our next weather maker. Right now, believe it or not, producing snow north of Phoenix. This is going to actually bring us the chance for some severe weather on Saturday. As it swings around through Texas, it's going to interact with some of that Gulf moisture, and that's really going to help it to strengthen and get its act together by the time it makes it to our area. The good news is no severe weather to worry about overnight tonight. Temperatures don't fall much, only a few degrees overnight tonight with lows in the mid to upper 50s. We might see a few showers make their way in here from the south after midnight. Not expecting any storms or definitely any severe weather, but if you're out late tonight, you might notice a little bit of rain on your windshield. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. And that's really going to stay the trend through tomorrow. Starting off the day, mostly cloudy with the chance for a few showers. I do think by the afternoon we could get into a little bit of thunderstorm activity, especially as we get into dinner time. Some more of those storms lifting off to the north. We'll bump it up to about a 60% shot for some of those showers by 3 o'clock. Notice the winds, though, also very gusty and breezy out of the south. And that's going to help us to warm up to near 70 by tomorrow afternoon. But that's not what we're worried about with the severe weather. I think those are just going to be some regular thunderstorms. But come Saturday, we are under a level 3 risk for some severe weather. Everybody else up to the north is in a level 2. But the entire WCBI viewing area has the potential to see some severe weather on Saturday. So let's time that out on Futurecast. We're going to start things off around 4 a.m. and you'll notice this strong line of storms just to the west of the Mississippi River. That's going to get a little closer to us, say by 5, 6, 7 o'clock. I think by 7 o'clock it's pretty close to getting into the western portion of our area. Very strong winds out ahead of this, and what we're worried about with this, damaging winds possibly in excess of 80 miles an hour. But we're also keeping a close eye on this model's rendition of the possibility of a few storms popping up out ahead of this line, and that would increase our tornado potential. If this occurs, these storms would be more prone to produce tornadoes. So you see this model indicating some of those cells popping out ahead of that line. That's what we'll watch. But otherwise, this main line of storms coming through the Golden Triangle by lunchtime into West Alabama by 1 or 2 o'clock. That means they get out here pretty quickly. I think by 3 p.m., most of us will be dry and the severe weather threat will be over. So anytime before 2 p.m. on Saturday, we'll be keeping an eye out for some very strong winds, possibly some flooding if you get into some heavier rain, and the risk for a tornado in some spots. Remember, download the WCBI mobile app. We'll keep you updated in the event of a severe weather alert. Basically, Sunday's our only nice weather day. Rain and showers continue into next week with highs in the 70s.
Hey everyone, today we are getting an adult science lesson from sommelier Bobby Burgess, and she has this really cool smell kit that you use to try to smell to figure out what goes in what wine or what's in our wine.
Yeah, so this is an Aeromaster kit. When I started studying to become a sommelier, I needed to really work on my olfactory, which is your sense of smell. Because
so you have to know what is in like what you're smelling. You have to be able to tell folks like this has this in it, like berries or da 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 da.
Especially when we're blind tasting, which a lot of times you're usually going to be more wrong often than not. But certain wines smell like certain things, so you have to be able to pick those notes out to figure out, okay, if it smells like green bell pepper, peppercorn, and black currant, it's probably Cabernet Sauvignon.
All right. The science sommelier, or the chemistry wine chemist right here at this table. And those are the three that you've picked out for us today that are in this wine. So which one is the first one?
Yeah, so this is going to be Revelry Cabernet Sauvignon out of Washington State. And we're going to get started with the black currant. This is from an impact compound called thiol, which is an organosulfur compound. So this exists in black currants itself, and during fermentation, when the grapes are fermenting, obviously these chemical compound reactions happen, and it causes these scents. So none of this stuff is actually put into the wine. It happens during fermentation.
During the fermentation, wow. And this smells very fruity.
Yeah.
It's a very fruity smell. Wow. It just amazes me how scientific it really is. I mean, I just imagine like a chem lab or something and this happening. But I mean, that's obviously not how it works, but it's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So next we have green bell pepper. So if you drink a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon from Chile and from Bordeaux, where they have a cooler climate, you tend to get this very green note on your wines.
Okay.
So this is a pyrazine, which exists in bell peppers themselves.
And this smells like bell pepper. Interesting.
And then the last one we have is my favorite because I love spicy wines. This is going to be rotundone, which is what exists in the essential oils of marjoram, thyme, rosemary, and peppercorn.
And so this is going to smell like spicy.
It's going to smell like black pepper.
Black pepper is the exact thing that comes to my mind when I smell this. That's awesome. I wish we had time to go through this whole thing because there's one in here that smells like gravy, which everybody said I would hate, but it's kind of cool. So, Bobby, thank you for sharing your scientific expertise on these wines. We love it. We're going to do this again. Until next time, we're going to smell and see if we can figure out what's in here. Cheers. Welcome back, everyone. The flu virus is spreading like wildfire. The CDC says that many states are now reporting widespread cases of the virus. We learn more tonight in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lee Richardson, a physician in the emergency room at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight I want to talk to you about some ways you can lower your risk of catching the flu. We tested more than 5,600 people for flu in the emergency room last year, which is about double the number for the past years. We are already seeing patients who are testing positive for the flu this early in the season. There are steps you can take to avoid catching the flu. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. When you are sick, keep your distance from others to protect them from getting sick too. Stay at home from work, school, and errands when you are sick. Cover your mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing. It may prevent those around you from getting sick. Washing your hands often will protect you from germs. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. Germs are often spread when a person touches something that is contaminated with germs and then touches his or her eyes, nose, or mouth. Take a high-quality vitamin and mineral supplement daily. Most of us don't eat all the fresh fruits and vegetables we need for optimum nutrition. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces at home, work, or school, especially when someone is ill. Get plenty of sleep, be physically active, manage your stress, drink plenty of fluids, and eat nutritious food. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
Mississippi State has officially found a football coach. More on Mike Leach's arrival when we come back.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Absolutely nothing about this season for Mississippi State football has been expected, including the newest MSU coaching hire, former Washington State head coach Mike Leach. Leach stepping onto the tarmac at George M. Bryan Airport this afternoon as the newest leader of Bulldog football. WCBI Sports' Tom Ebel was there and reports from Starkville with more.
The state of Mississippi is once again at the top of the college football world. The 34th head coach in Mississippi State football history, former Washington State head coach Mike Leach. The story of how Leach arrived here in Starkville is one that you almost wouldn't believe. Reports coming out on Wednesday that John Cohen flying down to Key West to meet with Leach to talk about possibly becoming the newest head coach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. 24 hours later, Mike Leach arriving at George M. Bryan Field in Starkville Thursday as the newest head coach of Mississippi State football. Leach coming off leading Washington State to 5 straight bowl games. He's known as the architect of the air raid offense, so a little bit of a different feeling coming into Mississippi State. You know, we're used to seeing Mississippi State pound the rock, run the football, use play action, but it's going to be a new age and a new era in Starkville come football season in 2020. Mike Leach meeting with some of the players at the airport, Kylan Hill, Marcus Murphy, Garrett Schrader among those, Kobe Jones as well. So the players meeting the newest head coach, as well as getting to meet the Southern hospitality firsthand. Coach Leach going around signing shirts, signing cowbells, meeting everyone in the maroon and white as they rolled out the maroon carpet for him here in Starkville. But for Mike Leach, we'll meet again on Friday. Head coach Mike Leach will meet with the public at the Leo Seal Complex at noon for his introductory press conference. Again, that is open to the public, so all of the Mississippi State fans are welcome here in Starkville to meet the newest head coach of Mississippi State. And for the Bulldogs, it's a new era. And if you told me at the beginning of this year that you would have Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach competing in the Egg Bowl in 2020, I don't know if I would believe you. Reporting here in Starkville, Tom Ebel for WCBI Sports.
And it didn't take Mississippi State too long to find that new head coach after they fired Joe Moorhead. And it looks like it won't take Coach Moorhead too long to land somewhere else. Sources saying that Moorhead has emerged as the leading candidate at Oregon as the Ducks' next offensive coordinator. After Coach Moorhead's firing, the former head coach was tapped as one of the highest demanded assistants available on the market. Moorhead was fired after 2 seasons with a 14-12 overall record, 7-9 in conference play. And the coaching news continues. This one out of Oxford. Memphis football has hired former Ole Miss defensive coordinator Mike McIntyre as the Tigers' newest defensive coordinator. Memphis making it official this afternoon, saying Coach McIntyre was, quote, the perfect fit to lead the Tigers' defense. Coach McIntyre's Ole Miss held Memphis this past season to 15 points in the season opener. Under Coach McIntyre, Ole Miss's defense jumped from 114 to 85 in NCAA rankings in total defense. Mississippi State finishing up its 2-game road stint going up against Mizzou. Mid-second quarter, forward Chloe Bibby had the hot hand in the first half, knocks down the 3 bucket. MSU leading 35-18. Right before half, another one. Bibby with 13 points after this bucket, helping MSU build a 22-point lead at the break. Second half, early third forward, Rakia Jackson would take it from there. The and one bucket for Jackson, her season high of 21 points. In this one, Mississippi State rolls against Mizzou. The Bulldogs take home the win 79-64, the 14th straight road victory. And next up, Scott, Mississippi State comes back to Starkville, back to the Humphrey Coliseum. They'll be hosting the LSU Tigers.
All right, we're ready to see the girls play again here at home.
Yes, and hopefully 3-0, so let's see if they can continue that undefeated SEC
All right,
streak.
yeah, we got our fingers crossed, don't we? Thanks, Courtney. We'll have a last look at your forecast when we come back.
A couple of showers and storms possible through the day tomorrow. Better chances for severe weather are going to come Saturday morning. Some of those storms could produce damaging winds, hail, maybe even some tornadoes. Of course, we'll be here keeping a close eye on that. And we'll have the latest posted on our website at wcbi.com/weather, on the WCBI News app, and on our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can basically find us anywhere.
Definitely. You know, I was thinking today on dinner break how, nice it was. It did kind of feel like a spring day.
That's all that Gulf moisture rushing in, basically feeding energy into those storms.
We know you guys will be watching
We
out
will,
for
definitely.
sure. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you right back here. You're anchoring tomorrow night, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You'll see us right back here tomorrow.
We got more Mike Leach action tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. A whole lot. All right. Thanks, Will.